love Lego movies. Sometimes they can be some of the greatest representations of the animation industry for its entire decade. And there's all sorts of Lego movies to choose from, all with varying levels of quality. Be them the classic, iconic original, the incredibly, surprisingly good Lego Batman movie, and the sequels are right too. But of course, there is one Lego movie that we don't talk about from the exact same phase and studio of its time, and I haven't watched this movie in years. I once had a friend try to introduce me to it and said it was great, look at all these redeeming factors. The bridge has a pun name, but well, we're gonna see some opinions real soon on this movie. And to be fair, also, it has some pretty big shoes to fill when you're going up against the Lego movie. So much of what makes a Lego movie is the weighing in all of the comedy, the frenetic pace, and the meta-narrative as well. So let's see just how this movie doesn't do it, shall we? This is the terrible Lego movie. So for a start with this movie, it opens in live action. Yes, gone are the days of having a plot twist reveal that it's all taking place in a live action playtime. It's well established at this point that the Lego universes are just that. So it fits, and then... oh, it's our brand new Will Ferrell replacement. Even though he has CGI staff stunts now, huh? Jackie Chan then slogs us through this scene, monologuing to this child about something or other. He growls at a cat, he looks at antiques, and eventually the camera zooms into a Lego figurine.
No, he's just a kid.
Only for Jackie to give it back ninja eyes now, and thus opens to the story of Ninjago. It's all about seeing things in a new way. That's the theme that Jackie Chan has to keep saying again and again.
His dad is the worst guy in the history of the world.
Oh, okay, so it's a more standard format of storytelling. Okay, so Garmadon here is invading and a news team is there.
I'm Robin Roberts. And I'm Michael Strahan.
Very suddenly, it's not very Ninjago-y. In fact, if you look at it, really, it looks an awful lot like just Lego movie standard, you know? But with American TV hosts that are kind of uninteresting. But now that this is getting bombarded into our face, it's introducing the ninjas. The actual, Ninjago part of the story.
Earth Ninja! When will he upgrade to digital?
Yeah, it's just a flat-out calling out of each of the characters, introducing them one by one, and giving each one a very formulaic and poorly written one-liner.
You fellas need to inform yourselves.
And so as we're getting subtly bombarded with this very second scene, I think the flaws of this movie are already starting to show. With it being action scenes here in a sudden montage, there's no real weight to anything going on. It's just a cacophony done in front of you. Similarly, it's a very strange formatting for the jokes. It's a lot of dialogue very quickly that it's hard to keep up. And I'm in my 20s. How a child is meant to perceive any of the lines going on from like these TV host characters is beyond me. But we do slow for our protagonist, Lloyd, son of Lord Garmadon.
It's Lloyd Garmadon, your son?
Yeah, this is the next 5 minutes. The dynamic of this movie is the relationship between father and son, and the very first confrontation's here, and it goes on a while. I could keep rambling at you, and there will still somehow be footage to use from this confrontation scene, but I'll skip it for your own sake. And so now, Lloyd is slowly starting his day in his apartment, which just kind of looks like a different clone to the standard Lego movie again, you know? Tell me this isn't just the Lego movie ripoff, even though it's literally just a direct spin-off.
Hello.
You know, the Ninjago brand is massively popular under the surface, as long as I understand it. I haven't actually seen it, but I kind of get the idea. But it has a visual aesthetic, you know? There's very clearly martial arts, and thus Asian architecture integrated into its buildings. But this is so clearly Americanized and modern, so that it just looks like a slightly different Lego movie. And maybe that is part of the issue here. We loved the first movie, but this so far has just felt like it's regurgitating it, but a little bit worse. There's even been ninja action, and it kind of just washed over us because of the execution of it. Anyway, he makes it to school. We're not in the workforce just yet, unlike the original that we're going to keep comparing to. Now to join his robo-friend.
She's all.
Ah, baby's first dial-up gag. kinda your easiest robo-gag, but I'll allow it. This is a movie for kids after all. The other friendship group members all come together, Akira slide in tow, as we get an opposing brief song of Boo Lloyd for being son to the villain. Really, this world is just hammering down even harder on our protagonist than the original. Hey, that's pretty nice. It drones into the siren of invasion. Let's get somewhere, shall we? Lord Garmadon is back again, giving out call-outs in rhyme and everything. And after some vague gags about attacking very specific and niche things, the students dive into their ninja mechs, real Power Rangers style. And hey, that's kind of a thing. They get into their mechs? Is Ninjago not a ninja thing? I'm completely unaware of the Ninjago franchise, but I figured there would be more, I don't know, hand-to-hand martial arts combat to play around with, you know? That would be what would flare the most in animated form anyway, but hey, mechs, it's a nice spectacle, I guess. As much as the water now is real water. So much for the hyper Lego animation style of the first movie. Actually, looking at it, there's quite a lot of additional non-Lego particle effects. But I'll just assume that goes more in line with their original source material of Lego Ninjago, the TV series. Anyway, everyone's swishing about somewhat against more poor dialogue.
Have you heard my latest track? It's a smash.
It's like they lost how to do all the charm of the first movie. This feels like someone's trying to write the Lego movie, but they have a little bit of imposter syndrome, and it shows. Just knowing it's all about the dialogue gags, but not necessarily putting their best ones forwards, just chucking it out there. There is one good extract a tad later on when running out of ammo. See now, this is Lego movie humor. It's the nonsense, over-the-top comedy absurdity. It's the escalation of a situation. Everything else so far has been kind of to the numbers in a way that just doesn't grip you like the prior Lego movies. Somehow amongst all of this animation prowess, they lost the creativity and ingenuity of playing with Lego. And as they get into the groove, we briefly have some pop culture hip-hop music to distract from the pretty generic visuals, before finally focusing on something with the school bus. I think that's part of the problem as well. There's so little tension in every moment because we're so zoomed out. Nothing lingers. But eventually, we confront Garmadon.
About 16 years ago, I lost something. I had this guitar in college, and I traded it stupidly for, like, a jacket.
Lloyd, as the Green Ninja, is baiting Garmadon to mention his son that he supposedly loves.
Guy who made probably the best sushi I've ever had in my life. Hairless, crying son for the rest of my life.
Alright, it's like, if you like this one joke, it's alright, but it really overblares itself. Speaking of overblaring itself... What is this? A YouTube poop? I think it just gaslit me into actually enjoying this joke on the very, very, very last one.
Just one day to retire.
Why do I actually kind of want more almost Gen Z style humor? That should be what this kind of series is great for. And then they're confronting again with more of that same one gag.
Who taught you how to catch? Who taught you how to throw?
No one, because I never had a dad.
And this is the next 5 minutes. We are 20 minutes into this movie. Has anything happened? Is this not just the most basicest of premises and one character relationship overexpanded far too beyond its runtime? Where was the Lego movie at the 20-minute mark? Oh, he was already here. By this point, Emmett had achieved all of this so far. So Lord Garmadon returns to his super base island, and it's like, when you look at all the sets, it looks brilliant. But so much of this style just overlooks it. And there are jokes, but they're also just kind of muted to the side. Lord Garmadon then berates his employees, trying to find the answer of what the next big thing he is to do to the city next, as he promised to the Green Ninja. Firing every poor idea'd employee from the volcano. At least the gags are up front this time. The ninjas all return to the harbor apparently, briefly talking about Lloyd getting emotional with his dad, and then Master Wu makes an appearance, and it's Jackie Chan again. Nice. Not quite sure exactly how this is attached to the live action sequences so far, nor have I really found a notable theme like the first movie had, other than the one character beat. But hey, it's a story unraveling in front of us, somewhat.
But you did not defeat him.
And they're surprised by this.
Until you see things from a different point of view.
Oh, that's the theme of everything. And they will beat you over the head with it. Wu then goes on to call out all of the elemental powers each of the ninja have. They're just avatar benders. And as for Lloyd,
Your elemental power is green.
Smoke weed every day.
we've found gag trait number 2, with Lloyd feeling undercooked once again because he practically is in this movie. So he goes to talk to Wu about it before Wu mentions he has the ultimate weapon.
Ultimate weapon!
Whoa, that was a lot. Okay. And Wu's holding on to it because he can't let it go into the wrong hands. Lloyd is the wrong hands. Right.
I need you to lead the secret ninja force.
Huh? So now Lloyd is taken on to the leadership role because Wu is old? Lloyd then turns around saying he would give up being a ninja if he could stop being Lord Garmadon's son. To which Wu then turns around with,
Perhaps it will speak to you.
this movie is a lot of musk. Clearly, it doesn't take itself seriously, and there can be something fun about that. But also, so much of this just doesn't work. The big plot line doesn't really exist. The character traits are basic and overly used, growing long and tired, and we're not even halfway through it. And then Lloyd runs away to...
It's the hard knock life for us.
At least finally we can see some more Asian architecture. It is there, it just doesn't look like it in most of the shots. And then Lloyd goes to bed skipping a birthday cake. You know, Emmett kinda gets distracted and goes on a whole adventure. And I mean, later Lloyd will be going on a big ninja adventure, but first we have just a full, dull day in the city. It's just so boring in comparison. But now it's tomorrow, and Lord Garmadon is back, this time in a mech.
He says you're a big, stupid dum-dum with a dumb face and you smell like a butt.
Well, someone will laugh at that.
A man has fallen into the river in Lego City.
The ninjas are out again in their mechs. Lloyd uses his super missile dragon weapons again, using shots that could possibly be exact clones of the last time we saw in these shots, but to be fair, this Lego animation is a lot of work, so I'll give it a pass. Only for him to be defeated this time, as the clone is unaffected.
A man has fallen into the river in Lego City.
Everything is looking awful,
I came here to drink boba and kick butt.
including the jokes. And so Garmadon reaches the top of Ninjago Tower. Apparently that's all he needs to dominate the world because the mayor is there. I don't know, it's a power thing they explained earlier. Only for Lloyd to teleport from the ship to the tower top with the ultimate weapon this time.
Are you crossing your fingers?
No crosses, just chill.
It's a lot of this. Again, it's entirely quips and gags, but very little of them land. We build up to finally get to...
But nothing is happening. Why is nothing happening?
Rumbling is felt in the city as we learn the true power of the ultimate weapon. That's nice! Kinda. A laser pointer is making the cat go crazy. Cool! But integrating the cat into the city is a little strange. I guess I could appreciate it as bold, but how does this work in the logic of playtime? Did all of these events already happen because Jackie Chan is just narrating, telling us the story? Has he invented this scenario so the cat's not even actually jumping around, it's just part of the story in his head? Because there is no Lego set we're going to see in any of the live action sequences, it's just the beginning and end that we even see Jackie Chan in his face and the cat from the beginning of the movie, but it doesn't come together. There is no stitching in the middle, it's just let me tell you a tale. And then a tale happens. At least when the sister got integrated in the second movie, you still saw that it was their building, they're probably playing with the toys and being a little rough. In the first movie, of course, I don't need to explain it, the live action's all about gluing with the sets. That all comes together in a representative, metaphorical playtime way. But this, there is no real version. So it's just a weird mix that, It's the magic of the Lego movie, draining away with the runtime. But yeah, I guess I can appreciate it as a bold move. It's a new integration, I'll give them that. But with this single weapon, every ninja mech is totally destroyed. It is a catastrophic loss for the team.
I'm not gonna cry.
Dad. And once more, this confrontation of the same two characters. Almost no one else has spoken in this movie, and it's halfway done. This needs a drinking game at this point. Finally, another 5 minutes later or something, ending in...
I wish you weren't my father.
As the city is Garmadon's.
Hey, Coco. Glad you made it to the party.
Mum and Dad are fighting now. With nothing too new being learned, the mum learns Lloyd is the Green Ninja, Garmadon speaks, And then eventually we loop back to Lloyd amidst a disaster, mechs all ruined as he spots Wu's ship in pieces. The other ninjas are also upset with him for using the ultimate weapon.
We were the only people that didn't hate you. And now we hate you.
And then Wu reappears, telling the ninjas to get the ultimate weapon.
Where is this thing?
Right, great, thanks, that was also a lot. Anyway, where is this thing? It's on a trail of stuff. It's actually the only thing I remember from my first time viewing of this. Each location has pun names for future events. It's almost like Shakespeare in the foreshadowing prologue, but actually calling this anything close to Shakespeare would be a crime against literature. The ninjas argue that they can do it. He asks the ninjas to give Lloyd another chance and says that all of them will now go. With 1 hour left, and now the core journey begins. You know, the actual Ninjago-y bit. Also, Garmadon is watching and going out to the jungle as well. But since we've only got an hour, we need to spin through this with a mini montage of progress. Again, with more wind instrumenting. And just like that, Garmadon is immediately upon them. So Wu tells them to hide. He'll handle them.
You!
Finally, it's something hand to hand, so it works a little bit more now. Though the past 50 minutes have kind of burned me out on this movie already. Thank you for making it to the halfway mark of this video. As per usual, do check below to see whether you are subscribed, and come along and join us for the discussions over on our Discord server. Not only can you give suggestions for future terribles, you can just chat with the community if you want. And I'm always there lurking. I see every single message on there. Anyway, enough of the brief plug, I'll let you get back to the rest of the terrible Lego Ninjago movie. It's great how suddenly now, Wu's staff has smear frames, and how Garmadon learns to be better with the bamboo all around him. Or how there's gags about how Lego pieces stick together.
Get over my head.
Hey, get off my foot so I can kick you in the head!
This is a Lego movie action scene. You can see the train of thought between all of the characters. You can see all sorts of details if you went frame by frame. This is what we're looking for. This is what I want to see out of a Lego story. And it's what's been missing up to this point, bafflingly. This is nice, it's creative, visually appealing, not to mention all the quips in between. Until eventually, Garmadon is caged, and Uncle Master Wu...
A man has fallen into the river.
Well, he did say it on the trailer description.
To cross the bridge of falling mentors.
But with 45 minutes running left, it's the real tale. Ninjas and Garmadon together. With a lot of rambling on gags along the way.
I wrote the book on ninja legends.
Why are there so many one-star reviews?
It's trolls.
But they decide to take Garmadon cage in tow. And it's more dialogue. Asking about his age, why he has extra arms.
At first I was like totally freaked out, and sometimes I get self-conscious about it.
Everyone is starting to like Garmadon, whilst Lloyd is getting more mad about it all. And now there's a fork in the road. They've got to make a decision. They take the bad path because Lloyd liked the good path. Okay. It's a skeleton graveyard, which is a nice staple of Lego visuals. Lego skeletons are used so much in all sorts of things from the games and as an iconic model, so to see them somehow adapted in a movie works great. I can see why it didn't work in the original Lego movie or something. Also on the side are the fired commanders from like 20 minutes back. And now the ninjas are totally worthless in battle. They're useless without their mechs and don't use any elements despite Lloyd's suggestions. So Lloyd is caged too now, alongside Garmadon. More arguments between the two ensue.
No one ever says mean things to me when my dad knocks over their Pilates studio.
It's just constant, you know? It's a bit much. So they're both gonna get dunked into the upcoming volcano. Honestly, it sounds like a mercy to us audiences. And on the side, the other ninjas weren't captured. Only Lloyd and Father. Okay. So they witness it all from a distance. Oh, and also the Robo-Friend has all the martial arts films in his database, so they give us another one of those photorealistic montages.
Today's Martial Arts Movie Club! Told you you're wasting your time, I vowed to give up that way of life! Swamp Hunter! Judo Future Cocktail 3! Blood Game of 2! Whoa!
And I think, as well, this is part of the problem. There are clearly actual movie references in this splay out, but who's the joke really for? Are kids laughing at these gags? I think it will all go completely over their heads. all of these jokes, all of this dialogue quipping seems like it's aimed for parents, someone with a stronger grasp on all the tropes and words. It's almost as if the writers wrote this movie for themselves, and in doing so made something so very boring to actually watch. The visuals are great, but the action is awful. There is so much dialogue and so little theming or heart that it's like reading this movie is. Oh, and also I guess we're meant to surmise that the gang were watching all those movies during this time? Uploading it to their brains? Well, they reference that they can learn martial arts so fast, so we're running with it. Alright, I guess that nonsensical Lego vibe is what we want, but at least do some of the grounding work, please.
I learned so many things so fast.
I'm ready.
And so they blaze on in with all of their martial artsy stuff. They can do it now. Off you go.
Lloyd,
And then the ninjas intrude immediately. Again, not really shown as much of a heist, you know? It could have been a great journey towards the volcano top, but instead it's just random knockouts and a couple of focus shots. And then they're there.
I'll be in charge of the tunes. Please don't encroaching. Jinxed us.
But eventually, more dialogue quips later, we get a montage of music pop culture crammed on top again. My favorite. Because it's Dad teaching Lloyd to throw, as the ninjas attack back at the ambush. And it works! Lloyd can throw thanks to his dad.
What is this? Smiling.
And then it all falls apart. Lloyd is pushed to the ground and suffers a catastrophic injury.
I think it was my arm. Is it bad? Is it bad? I don't want to look.
Again, kinda cool an idea. Lego are toys. They are breakable. Just Toy Story 2, but let's see where this goes. Garmadon is freaking out a little bit, wants to call his mother. I'd like that briefly. And eventually, after more prop gags, he finds the arm to return it.
This is gonna be agony for a while. On the count of 12.
No. I don't want to do 12.
And then there's a million more lines and gags before anything happens. Once again, I can ramble at you for a solid minute and there will still be footage to show of Garmadon freaking out and making quips, gags, and comedy bits about this missing arm before anything properly, finally, actually, seriously, genuinely is about to going to happen.
Oh, wish your mom was here to do this.
And eventually, it's put into place. Eventually.
Feels pretty good.
And just like that, they get out of there. In a helicopter of all things. Real clouds now as well, okay. And this next scene's all about the fatherly element of teaching to drive, even though Lloyd already can, only to lead to a standard, I need a change of armor gag. This really is like baby's first jokes. It's so basic. And that's coming from me, I write comedy on the side. And as for the end of the scene...
This is going real... Goat! Go!
Alright, it's something. Enjoyable? I think the second half is better than the first so far, but woof, that first half takes the wind out of the movie. It's the temple of fragile foundations. Repeating the words, it's so important, and we'll see that one soon enough.
I will lead you through this Paris.
Oh, look, a light switch.
It's Garmadon's childhood home. Time for backstory from the family pictures. To be fair, there are a lot of questions going, so let's get some lore in here.
It's Lady Iron Dragon, my hero!
Mom was a ninja?
And yet, he was surprised that his son was the Green Ninja. Also, spoilers, we're never gonna see Lady Iron Dragon again. She doesn't use any martial arts later. Wasted potential. Anyway, flashback time, and we see the mother fighting the skeleton army as he was speechless of her looks. Side note, why couldn't this be the movie? It kind of looks more interesting as a tale of a big war, you know, many characters, hand-to-hand combat action. This would have been a great prompt. Or is this the Lego movie version of asking for the Justice League Snyder cut? It does kind of feel like the dark side battle scene after all.
It was love at first fight.
Oh, that's what this was all leading to. So then just like that, I guess she semi-switches sides. Fighting both sides against each other. That's an interesting dynamic, I'll give him that. And we then come to learn that he left after a while because upon coming to the city of Ninjago, he wanted to build it on the ashes of the city, but she didn't want a conqueror, not for the life of Lloyd. And Garmadon laments that he could have changed back then and cries fiery tears.
But I didn't.
Garmadon now is really emotive in talking about Leloid's mum, despite the start of the movie where he forgot he even had a son throughout. It's like two different characters here and no sense in between. Sure, they've bonded, but why has his entire opinion switched?
I never should have let you go.
And next they find a chest with each of the respective elements. And what's nice is the items breach beyond the black bars, which is very cool and nice. The movie is instinctively very artsy. It takes a lot of animator and organizational strength to make this. It's fascinating how something fell apart somewhere along the line. But now we can loop back to Ninjago City as
Father and General Number 1.
It's the shaky foundation. Garmadon still hasn't really changed. He knows his son will be a great conqueror.
Save the city.
What?
You'll be a hero.
And he rejects. It's time for another fight! A group fight this time, and hand to hand too! Yes, this is what I call for. Plus you have the added element of this MacGuffin chest being desired and thrown around, etc. This is brilliant. The fight scene's kind of short, but you can see all sorts of great elements and character thought processes if you really slowed this footage down.
Catch it!
I got it. I got it.
Oh, Leloid.
And Garmadon runs away with the ultimate weapon. We're in the final 20 minutes now, and you know, the past 15 minutes I think I enjoyed. But a movie is only as good as the sum of its parts. It's like a reverse up. Everyone adores the first 5 minutes of that film, on the rest. And with this movie, you have so much undercooked stuff to just get through before any of the good stuff, with a far inferior plotline and characters. Like, do the other ninjas really have any personality that we've seen up to this point? Other than, that one's a robot. But it's time for the twist. Leloid is listening to Wu's past lines.
Stay on the right path to find your independence.
The final weapon is inside of you. And Leloid is calling it out to the other ninjas. And so they're posing, bringing it out.
I've got the power!
Oh, way to undermine it. I can't play any more of this out loud, but it's more pop culture music montage. The perfect way to just blanket over any problems and just make it a crowd pleaser, I guess. The ninjas can now cast the elements alone.
I think I made it worse!
But they leap out in time with Wu coming in to catch them.
Lloyd saved us.
And now it's time to save the city from the giant kitty.
Ninjago!
It's the big final battle scene. Garmadon brings out the weapon pieces only for...
Take that!
What?
All the while the ninjas are using their real moves. Funny how they just needed to unlock the powers and now they have complete control over it, but oh well. I guess we've plenty of footage of learning the elements from other franchises.
Water, earth, fire.
And this is all there is for the final battle. This one sequence is all of it. After this is the emotive ending with very little action to it, so this very brief bit of elemental usage, done in the middle of the mess but with no real trajectory of progress, just like the heist scene, is it. Just occasional shots. This is the final battle. It's another case of the action just being so undercooked somehow. Perfect for washing over you and barely hitting with impact like the legacy of the first movie.
I'm the greatest warlord of all.
The ninjas arrive on the scene, but Leloid is sympathetic to Garmadon, saddened for him to be taken by the cat whilst the city calls for them to take out them both. He takes off his disguise and reveals his identity, and then it's his big surprise move to be seen.
When people look at you, they see a monster.
All the while, Garmadon is listening from the inside. He talks of being judged unfairly, and then goes on to say,
I forgive you. I'm sorry. When I said, I wish you weren't my father.
Instead, he wishes they didn't fight at all. Yeah, me too. There was a lot of confrontation scenes. Dialogue going again and again and again and again. But he wishes he could get his time back.
I need my dad. I need my dad.
You know, as someone who literally grew up without a father figure in his life at all, I think I might also have a bit of a bias against this movie. I know a lot of kids' movies are all about family as being the most central thing, but like, no, you don't need a dad. Gunning for this message of every kid has to have two parents can sometimes come off as a little excluding to those children that uncontrollably don't have the support of two parents. I know if I watched this movie as a kid, I'd probably be feeling pretty bittersweet about hearing this guy whining about not having a dad whilst already having a super supportive mother. It would have made me feel less supported in my own life, and I wonder if that kind of effect ever did hit some child who did see this movie at such an impactful time in their life. The Lego Movie had a message that struck to everybody about the importance of everyone. But this time, it's lamenting a father in a way that just isn't as universal or impactful as its predecessor. And considering the fact that Lloyd's life isn't necessarily worse because his father's not in the picture, it's simply him asking for more. In a world that dislikes him for being the son of the guy, sure, but I don't think that's really the message going on here. And I don't think any other kind of movie has made me feel excluded before, which is incredible to have made that kind of mistake in a kid's movie. And I guess you could make the argument that every time a parent dies, that's also kind of exclusionary to kids that really do go through their parents dying at a young age. But at the same time, I think that's still decent storytelling to develop the characters' arcs of the characters they're trying to build. This, for whatever it's trying to do, I think just doesn't nail what it's going for. This feels undeserved and makes Lloyd seem more like a whiny child begging for more. It doesn't feel earned in a way that works or is satisfying or universal either. But anyway, Garmadon cries fiery tears, remember? And it irritates the cat's gag reflux.
Oh, whoa.
Dad?
And that's that! The cat now just inexplicably hangs around as more Lego figures prance around in front of it when surely at some point it would pounce on them again out of curiosity, but okay. And the mum comes to coddle as well.
Okay, you still don't have fingers and toes? That's good.
Lloyd says his sorries to his mum for taking her for granted when she fully supported him. Kinda hard to see where this came from since there wasn't really much of a conflict between those two, to be honest. It has entirely been based around this child and his father the whole time and no other characters. Could have done with more of a build-up on that end for sure, but it's an emotive ending, blah 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 blah.
Found two people to hug me over here.
Then Lloyd goes on to talk to Wu about how green connects all of the ninjas. That's why he's the element of green, or the way he connects his family. He's the glue that brings everyone together. And Wu responds, some powers you can't see are the most important powers of all. Okay, family, glue, people pleasing. And as Wu flies away with his epilogue paragraph,
And the city of Ninjago.
Where are you going?
don't know how they made the cat subtly so docile. That conflict is practically never addressed again for the city, other than a stroke on the nose, but alrighty.
Does that mean I'm a ninja now?
No, all you did was to listen to a story.
And it was all a story being told by Jackie Chan. No real sets, unless it was past playtime. How did the cat get involved? Where was it? And he hires the kid for martial arts. Oh, okay. What a weird ending and a weird movie. So many formulaic pieces from the first movie just kinda lost their way in translation. The live action segments had a celebrity cast, but with no real connection between humans, no connection to the Lego universe, and no real heart in its scenes. Whilst the visuals of this movie run with the punches, but never hit hard. Nothing is impactful or stands out, and the movie instead just repeats the same dynamic over and over and over again. And there was probably a fifth scene that they did the same confrontation conversation. The actiony twist of the pieces were inside them all along is just kind of generic again. It really is baby's first everything, which is incredible to hear as a sequel spin-off series successor to something as creative and intuitive as the original Lego movie. They even could have taken it more literally, with inner peace being properly inner peace. As in, their elemental props are literally inside their bodies. We even see inside one of their bodies to hint at the green prop on the inside for later or something. They could have done that. The family emotive talk was nice, but again, I think that movie looks more interesting because the city action with the mechs, or even the elements, is just generic action. The highlights are in the actual martial arts fight scenes, but they are also pretty much all worse than the initial Lego movie, because it was a lot less bombastic along the way. One chest goes flying about, and the crabs were a thing once. I'm sure there were intentions behind photorealistic water and clouds because maybe the Ninjago series had that aesthetic, but I think in doing so, it ironically perfectly emulated the idea that this is a Lego movie with a lot of the Lego movie charm removed. Taking a 20-minute tale and stretching it to 80, and presumably disappointing fans of the movies and fans of the series alike. It's fun and enjoyable, but it's not a well-rounded and polished final project. Just listen to half of those jokes and they really tell the full story. Definitively, it is the terrible Lego movie we don't talk about.